You're listening to the Hustled Up podcast. I'm Laura Natoli.
And I'm Anne Silva, and we are best friends since birth turned multi-passionate entrepreneurs and co-owners of Chores and More, a successful service-based business where everybody is treated like a best friend.
Welcome to our show where tactical business education meets fun and real conversations about this wild journey called life.
Get ready to be inspired. Grab your headphones, turn up the volume, and let's hustle up.
What is up, Hustled Up fam? We are back with another episode of Hustled Up, and we are your hosts. My name is Laura.
And I'm Holly.
And I told you we'd be back with the consistency, and here we are, showing up, recording early, not waiting till the day before. Go us. And we have, I always say this, but we have a super fun topic planned for today. But listen, I told y'all to reach out to us if you're listening and enjoying. And our DMs are mighty empty. I feel like I had to go through some cobwebs, some bats flew out of our DMs because they're just so empty. So if you are listening and you are here, slide into those DMs and let us know. Give us some episode topic ideas. Let us know if you want to be a guest. And as always, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you're listening. We are on YouTube as well. So make sure you are following and subscribing on YouTube to get notified whenever we do drop a new episode. All right. With all that being said, I wanted to talk about something a little different today. It's kind of mindset, kind of meaty, tangible information, but something that we learned that I think is so important to learn and to get your mindset behind when first starting off in business and in life is to not step over a dollar to pick up a penny. And what do I mean by that? Exactly what it says. Don't step over a dollar to pick up a penny on the street, right? That would be stupid. But we do this in business all the time without even thinking about it. We're so focused on the next dollar and not losing money right now or not spending money right now that we're not thinking about the long-term investment. We're not thinking about the long-term return on our investments. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to change your mindset around this. And we're also going to talk about some ways that not stepping over a dollar to pick up a penny has really helped us in our business because I struggled with this. And I still do. Sometimes I have to remind myself, I'm like, no, Laura, this is not important right now. So if you're just starting off with business, or if you've been in business for a long time and you've never heard of this concept or even thought about this, you're definitely going to want to keep on listening.
Are you tired of spending your entire weekend cleaning when you could be going out to brunch with your girls?
First of all, I love brunch. And second of all, yes, there are so many things I could be doing instead of cleaning my house on the weekend.
Oh yeah, like playing video games.
Or watching a movie with the kids.
Going on a date with your significant other.
Taking your dog to the dog park.
Going to the movies.
Solving world hunger.
Yes! Exactly. So this is why it is such a good idea to call up Chores and More for your deep and recurring cleaning needs.
And do you want to know something really, really cool?
What?
If anybody mentions Hustled Up when they call to book, they can receive up to $100 off their deep cleaning.
Up to $100 off. What are you doing still sitting there? Pick up the phone now, mention our podcast, and never have to spend your weekends cleaning again.
Simply go to choresandmorellc.com. You can fill out our request quote form there, or give us a call, send us a text, 631-397-0177. It is time to get back to doing the things you love. Let us take care of the cleaning.
All right, guys, we are back. And as I said in the intro, we are talking about stepping over dollars to pick up pennies. And I first heard this phrase from our wonderful coach and mentor, Debbie Sardone. You know, we talk about her all the time, and she has what we call Debbie-isms. And it's these little phrases that she says, and she's so chock full of them. Like she always says, done is better than perfect. That's one of my favorite Debbie-isms. There's a new devil at every level. That's another Debbie-ism. She got a little Southern twang. But one that really stuck with me was, you don't step over a dollar to pick up a penny. I'm exaggerating here. But Holly actually did Google this term because it is a term. She didn't invent this term. It is a phrase. So Holly, if you could just kind of define what exactly that phrase means for the listeners, that would be so helpful.
Yeah, because I wanted to look it up because even I'm not like super familiar with this phrase. And I was like, what is it? Like, I'm getting the concept, but like, I just need it explained to me a little bit better. So it's basically an expression that means like when somebody tries to save money by cutting costs, which can end up costing them more in the long run. So according to this AI overview on Google, it says it can happen when someone spends so much time and effort on cost-cutting measures that they miss out on bigger opportunities to make money. So I guess, like, you know, it's, for me, like, thinking about this, like, just the amount, first of all, of mental energy that comes from trying to, like, conserve every penny. And also, I mean, I'm an overconsumption queen, so, like, I don't really struggle too hard with this. Like, I'm like, yeah, let's just buy it. Let's buy it. Let's buy it. I'm so bad like that. So bad. Laura
Yeah.
has to dial me in a little bit. So I'm not saying that, you know, spending money on it, like, just don't cut any of your costs, spend money on everything. No, that's not what we're saying. But, like, to make sure that you are putting your money in the right places can take your business really far, even if it doesn't feel worthy or, like, valuable at the time. Like, and for example, mentorship, right? Like, it costs tens of thousands of dollars for a good mentor or a good coach. And of course, there are some cheaper ones, but it's expensive and it doesn't feel like it's giving you a direct return on the investment. And so a lot of people don't do it. They don't hire a coach. They think they can do it themselves. They think Google will help them pave the way. You know, they'll consult good old YouTube. You know, everybody loves YouTube. You can learn everything on there. But it's just not the same as being able to present your problems and your bottlenecks to a coach, to a mentor who can get to know you, understand how you operate, understand your personality, like, you know, traits, and they'll probably even get to know your DISC assessment. Our coach personally made us take the Colby assessment because she wanted to know, like, how we do, like, how we get tasks done. And they really get to know you in a way that Google and YouTube can't. And then they help challenge you and encourage you and present to you new like tasks and things that can really help you take your business to the next level. But obviously in the beginning, when Laura and I signed up for CBF, we were like, this is expensive. I don't know if it's worth it. Like, you know, it's not like marketing dollars, right? Which I think some people conserve too much on that as well. Like, that's a big thing you should be spending money on. You should be spending a lot of your overhead expenses on marketing, but that's neither here nor there. It's not something that feels like it's going to bring you money. So a lot of people won't do it. And we learned that the hard way because we didn't sign up for a mentor until we were in business for 4 years already. And we did not really, I mean, we grew our business for sure, but, like, it wasn't without chaos and stress and panic attacks and me literally laying on the floor to keep cool because I overheat when I'm having a panic attack and not becoming mop free. We were in business for 4 years and could not get out of the field. And then when we joined CBF and got our mentors and started, like, you know, collaborating with the community, it was like we were mop free within, I think, a year-ish to like a year and a half. Like, we were mop free, and now we have an incredible team. Ah, I love our team so much. But, like, obviously it's been worth its weight in gold. I mean, we've, like, probably doubled our business revenue. We can't say for sure because we weren't keeping track of numbers back then. Y'all
I
already
would say we
know.
have. I think we have. We've definitely doubled, at least doubled since joining CBF.
I'd say so. I definitely
Yeah.
say so. So, like, it's there, obviously, but it just doesn't feel like it's being put right in your pocket. But that is something that it's a good example of stepping over that dollar, meaning, you know, foregoing mentorship, foregoing hiring a coach to pick up a penny to save that money for other things that probably aren't even worth the investment anyway.
Yeah, I think the example you just gave is probably the biggest one, in my opinion, that a lot of people sleep on that they shouldn't. Because if you invest, say, $10,000 in a coaching program, okay, yes, that's a lot of money. But what if that coaching program makes you an extra 20,000 or 100,000? Or, you know what I mean? You're going to get your money back in tenfold. But I think that's the biggest one. But I also do think, and you brought this up, Holly, marketing dollars. I think that's another big thing, at least for us. We weren't marketing. When we first started off, we were just going by word of mouth. It didn't even occur to me to market. I mean, we would do paid ads here and there on Facebook, but we really didn't sink good money into marketing dollars. And I think that's something that a lot of business owners do sleep on. Because, you know, when you're trying to cut the budget, I feel like a lot of people think, oh, well, cut the marketing budget because it's not bringing me that return on investment right away. Or if you're not tracking it, you're not going to be able to tell. But when you think about how much value a recurring customer has, Like, sit down and figure out, how much does my average bi-weekly client bring in? How long are they with me for? Were they with me for a year? Are they with me for 3 years? Okay, so say I had to spend $300 to get that client, but if they're with me for 3 years, they could be bringing in thousands and thousands of dollars. Was that $300 worth it? Yes, it was worth its weight in gold. So I think marketing is another huge one that, and if you don't have the money right now, I would say you do, and you're just not spending it correctly. Because there's a lot of other ways you can cut costs to dump that money into marketing. Are you buying brand new laptops? Are you buying brand new equipment? How about you buy some used laptops, some used equipment? What cleaning supplies are you using? Are you using, or, I'm talking specifically about cleaning businesses, but really in any business that has equipment, what type of equipment are you buying? Are you buying top of the line? Do you need top of the line? So marketing, I would say, is like, it's probably like neck and neck with a coaching program of two of the most important things that you need to be spending your money on that I think a lot of business owners aren't.
Yeah, and I think there's also, especially with business ownership, when you start feeling that little bit of like success, like you've made money, you've maybe grown your business to 6 figures or something like that. And Laura and I were definitely guilty of this. You start to feel like the money is, it's just always there and always going to come. And then you start to get like shiny object syndrome, right? We all have gotten that. And what Laura and I got was shiny food syndrome. We were going to IHOP like every other week and putting it on the company card and chalking it up to meals and entertainment or business meetings, which, like, don't get me wrong, I'll still go to IHOP every so often, but we don't need to be doing that every single month. Like, that is something that could come out of the budget a little bit. And I just think that, that's like the way to do it. So there's definitely things you can like really break down. Like a lot of, and especially in the cleaning industry, people want, and especially I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but it has to be said. And
go on that tangent.
As somebody who's an influencer, it's like I'm talking negatively about myself, but in today's day and age of social media, especially on Clean Talk, you're seeing all of these things for all the shiniest new vacuums and cleaning products and fancy cleaners that you just really don't need, that like Dawn will work just fine on, and these sprays and these tools and all of these things. And we were like that. Before we like started making changes to our business model after joining CBF, we had these giant like suitcase rolling caddies when we went into the houses, and they were heavy. I did love them. Don't get me wrong. They were beautiful, but they were heavy. They had way too much stuff in them. And the cost for them, I think they were like $300 just for the roller.
Yeah.
Like, it was absurd how much we were spending on these like rolling caddies with all of these products. And, we just kept thinking like, how can we simplify this? Like, how can we simplify what's in our caddy? And also, do we need this giant roller? So we started experimenting with smaller like duffels and things like that are like $30 compared to $300. We pretty much took everything out of our kit. We even got rid of our glass cleaner because guess what? Dawn works on literally everything. It's not the fancy new item on the block, but it works just as well, and it even kills COVID. So really, there's no reason not to just simplify. But it's hard when you're seeing like all of these cleaning influencers showing off all these fancy new cleaners, and like, I am one of those people who I'm like, I need that. That looks awesome. I want to be this person, so I'm going to just get that anyway, or whatever. And it's just not necessary. Like, you have to, in your mind, be like, is this an absolute need? And this really goes for anything in your life. Like, do I absolutely need this? Is this going to truly make my life better in some way? Or is it just something that, again, my shiny object syndrome is like, taken over, like, is that the case? And you really have to be conscious. And we spoke about this with, I believe her name was Sherry, the money mindset person, who was talking about finances and like really just being conscious with your spending decisions and the importance of just not like going into autopilot when you're buying stuff. And I think it's really important to do that. And that's going to help you save in the areas that matter when it comes to your budget and setting your budget for your business.
Yeah, I think you have to ask yourself the question, do I want this for the right reasons? Is it a vanity reason that I want this? Especially, you made me think, of an example of an office. There was a while where we were looking into getting a new office. And yes, it is getting a little tight over here. We do have 8 full-time cleaning techs and somebody that helps us in the office, and me and Holly. So it is getting a little tight on meeting days, but do we absolutely need a bigger office right now? No. And we have an incredible deal on this office. It's so cute. It's very close to both of our homes. Do we need an office right now? No. But there was a while where we wanted one, and it's for vanity reasons. We see all these other business owners with these beautiful storefronts with the big sign outside, and would that be wonderful? Absolutely. Will that happen one day? Absolutely. But for now, we really took a good hard look in the mirror, and we're like, why do we want this? Do we need this? No. So we kind of put that on the back burner. We push that date back to get a new office to next year. That's something we're going to think about next year. So whenever you are making a big purchase, and I know we're tangenting a little bit here, but whenever you're making a big purchase, it's really good to ask yourself, why do I want this? Do I want this because everybody else has one and I want to show it off on Facebook? So you just have to be real with yourself.
Yeah. And it does go back to the whole stepping over a dollar, though, because I think that, I mean, maybe there are people who just genuinely are pocketing all of their business's income, or they're keeping it in a savings, which is great. Like, you should be saving some money. You should have a savings, like, for sure. But in most cases, people are stepping over that dollar, and that penny is something like the office. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're buying things with that money that could be better invested elsewhere to get things that aren't necessary or that they just don't need. So Laura and I, this is a great example, actually. Laura and I, in the beginning of the summer, were really looking at an office, and we were actually going to settle for an office in a location that we didn't want, but the office was pretty big, the price was decent, and we were like, okay, if we like really pinch all of our pennies, we can possibly make this work, which maybe we could, possibly. We could have made it work, but we decided against it because we had some issues with the, like the owner, like the landlord of the place was kind of a-hole, but that's neither here nor there. We just, like, God was really putting it on our hearts, like, not to do it. Like, it was so funny. And it was so even funnier because one of our colleagues, like our industry colleagues, he told us, we were talking to him about it on the phone, this is why it's important to collaborate and to have friends in your industry. And he said, as somebody who got himself a brand new office, he said, if God wants this to happen, he will see it through. And if there are obstacles, then it's not meant to happen. So we really took that to heart, and we were like, okay. So then the landlord ended up being a jerk, and there were issues with the listing price being different from their asking price, and there was a whole bunch of stuff. So it ended up not working. Like, God was definitely like, this is not the time. Fast forward, we were bummed. We were pretty bummed. Fast forward a few months later, we went to CBF, and we had the funds to apply for pros, which is the next tier from where we are in CBF. And it ain't cheap. It ain't cheap. And for the first like day or two, we were like, should we do it? It's really expensive. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. And then we really just kept thinking about that whole stepping over a dollar to pick up a penny kind of thing. And this was not something that, it was something we can afford because we didn't get that office. If we would have gotten that office, we would not have been able to apply for pros. But it's also a situation where, like, this is going to be, it doesn't feel so great right now because it was a lot of money out of pocket, but this is something that is going to level us up in a way. Oh gosh, I'm so excited for it. It's going to level us up in a way that, like, we've never imagined. I mean, we're getting to the point where, like, we're going to be able to do all the fun stuff, and we're going to be able to have somebody in here doing those day-to-day things that we just don't love doing. Like, it's coming. It's definitely coming. So it's going to feel good when it happens. Like, in the long run, it's going to work. And so a lot of people probably would, like, forego an opportunity as such because they just would feel like it's not worth it, or maybe they don't need it, or whatever. But this is something where we were like, we need to invest in ourselves, and obviously in the business as well. But, we need to invest in ourselves and make this happen. We also bought another course about, from one of the founders of Vision Driven. She, like, founded it with the author of Vivid Vision, which is about, like, basically creating your vision, seeing where your future is going to be, working towards that future, and making sure you have clarity when it comes to, like, your future kind of thing. Anyway, so she launched this, like, vision development type course on how to develop your vivid vision and whatever. It was also not actually, she gave us a good deal, but still pricey. still not cheap, right? We're not going to say it was cheap. And it was a personal development course, and it was like a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer. We were like, we are investing. We need this. It's going to help us develop ourselves to be better people, better, like, better sisters, better daughters, better girlfriends, better, all of that stuff. And of course, better entrepreneurs. So it was a no-brainer. Is it going to help? Is it like directly putting money back into our pockets? No. But is it going to really make us like the person we need to be to eventually bring in that kind of money that we so badly want to have? Yes, it absolutely will. You just have to change your mindset. You have to look at it that way, because money doesn't just flock to you. You need to see it coming. You need to attract it. You need to want it. You need to know what you want, like exactly. Like, so it was a no-brainer for us. And I know that even though it felt like a big cost right out of, pocket, it's definitely going to be like, it's going to be worth its weight in gold. And I'm so excited. I already started diving into those modules, and it's already like, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's do it. Let's create this vivid vision.
Wait.
Like, I know where I want to go. I know what I want to do. And like, I even told Laura, like, I started thinking about it, and I already did like a little bit of a rebrand on my social media channels. And I'm really just like, I'm gassed.
Yeah, it's so funny because I remember we literally looked at each other and I was like, are we doing this? And Holly was like, yeah, we're doing this. Because it's so funny too, because in that moment, I thought about how different we are. And it really is a mindset thing, because a few years ago, even after joining CBSF and investing that money, I remember we didn't even go on that first retreat. And it wasn't even a conversation. We were just like, no, we don't have money to go invest in this retreat. Like, no, we're not going. And it wasn't even a thought or a discussion, because we didn't realize how that investment in going to retreat, how much it would have impacted us, and how each in-person event does impact us. And how now we're so quick to be like, yep, no, we're going to get that. We're going to get this. We're going to get that. Not willy-nilly. We do put thought into everything. Let me be clear in that. We're not just spending money willy-nilly like it's water. We put a lot of thought into these things. But every time we do, quote unquote, burn the ships and invest that money, it comes back to us tenfold. We did an episode right after CBF Live last year where we spent money joining the chamber. We joined Root Recruit. We joined Cleaning for a Reason. I remember we left that retreat, that live, broke, because we had invested so much money into so many different things, and it paid off. Now we have an incredible staff. We invested a lot of money to become a part of Woot Recruit, who we use for our employee recruiting, and that came back tenfold, that investment. So it's really, you got to work your mindset to start thinking this way, because it's really hard to only focus on what's in front of you right now, but you have to look past what's right in front of you and think about the long-term plan and the long-term goals.
Another good example, just throwing it out there super quick, is Cleaners Connect. Our Cleaners Connect event was an investment that it's like, oh, I'm putting money in my staff. I feel like this is a big one, actually, where employers just don't want to pour money into their staff. They don't want to develop them. They don't care. They just pay them minimum wage and send them on their day. Whereas Laura and I, we've adapted, different types of pay. We reward them with wheel spins at the end of the month. Now, granted, don't just go around throwing them up money willy-nilly. I feel like that's something Laura and I need to dial it back on, because gift giving is part of our love language, and I think we overdo it sometimes. But it's not to say that it's like you need to invest in them as human beings, as employees, and investing in their development as well is so good. It's like such a good example of something you should be investing in that might not bring you a return right away, but especially if you're in the cleaning industry, your employees are your biggest customers, and they actually are what bring in the most revenue for you. And if you have a good employee, like we have employees that are tracked to bring us in like over 100K this year, just from working. Yeah, to bring in over 100K of revenue for our business. Like, your employees will bring in a lot of money. So it is worth it to invest in them and make them happy, within your means, of course. But that's another really good one.
So. Yeah, that's a really good one. And honestly, you can just start small. You don't have to start with these big investments. Just start working on your mindset. I can think of really small examples too. Like, say I'm talking to a client, and it's a first-time client, for example, and she wants to move forward with an initial deep cleaning. Then she wants to move forward with recurring service. But her only hiccup is that microwaves aren't included in our service. We charge, I think it's between $5 and $10 extra for a microwave. And she says, if you just throw in that microwave, I'll move forward with weekly service. Now, if you're just focused on the right now, you say, no, that's $10. I need that $10. But no, that's stepping over $1 to go get that penny. Don't worry about that $10. Tell her, absolutely, you're going to be a long-term weekly client. I, of course, will throw in that microwave for you for free because you're going to make me a lot of money down the road. So you can start practicing this in very, very little ways. And as you flex this muscle, you'll start doing it with more important and more bigger things.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a really simple example.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same with discounting initial cleanings to get the recurring service. In a cleaning business, the recurring service is your main source of income, your main source of revenue. And it's how you grow your business. You can't grow your business by not booking recurring cleanings. Like, you can't grow your business just by booking one-time gigs. So that's another really good example.
Yeah. I've seen actually other cleaning companies that say, not taking recurring clients right now, or no room for weekly clients, or, I'll only travel far for one-time deep cleans, because they're so focused on that deep cleaning money, which, yes, deep cleanings can be upwards of anywhere from $300 to $1,000. So they're so focused on that one price tag, whereas a recurring $135 cleaning once a week is so much more valuable. Mm-hmm. But they're so focused on that one shiny sticker, big price tag that you're going to get once. So many companies are making this mistake, and I just want to be like, stop it.
Seriously.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to go over. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I feel like this is something that I don't really hear talked about often.
Yeah, it's really, like, obviously, this episode included some, like, tactical advice, but it's really a mindset thing. And I feel like we all kind of need a mindset shift every so often, or you need to just remember,
Yeah, I need to remind myself too. I remember Coach Derek, who's one of the CBF coaches, one time said in a presentation, you can either be right or you can be rich, because he told a story about how a client said that his company had broke something and he wanted them to pay like $100 or whatever it was to fix it. And he knew 100% that they were in the right and the client was in the wrong. But he said, yeah, I can either be right and say, no, I'm not paying that $100 and lose that client forever, or I can just pay it and keep the client. So that kind of goes hand in hand. You can either be right or you could be rich.
I love that.
Pick your poison.
Oh,
right?
I love that saying.
So true.
I am such a prideful person.
That's what I was going to say. It's the pride. A lot of times I'll be like, no, we're not refunding this on principle. What is principle at the end of the day? Yeah. Does principle matter? No.
No, it doesn't.
So it's a good reminder. Yeah, it's a good reminder. All right. Well, this was fun. I did enjoy this episode. It's a good little mind shift reminder for me as well. But definitely, as I said last week, connect with us. Stay connected. We are looking for more guests. We will be having more guests on soon, I promise. I know it's been a while since we've had a guest on. We plan to get a really special guest on soon. I'm not going to peep the name of who it's going to be, but that'll be coming up soon for you. In the meantime, as always, follow us on all our social medias. They're all going to be listed in the show notes below. I don't know, Holly's been changing her brand, so I don't want to say what her handle is. It's different every other day. I don't know what it is.
I don't even know what it is today, so.
All right, so just look below. You'll find it. Connect with us. And also make sure you are following us at Hustle It Up Podcast on Instagram. You can always send us an email at hustleituppodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to go check out our business page at Chores and More on Instagram and TikTok. And in the meantime, as always, we want you to have an amazing week, and we will see you next time. Bye.